Alright, y'all. Here it is. I had to get clearance on what I could say and what I can't say with this. This is the truth behind the beef between Suge Knight and Dr. Dre. Now, Suge Knight don't rap. I know that. But let's go into a beef that's basically larger than life. When Dre and Suge became partners and formed Death Row, we all knew who was running the show, which was Suge. But the agreement was Suge would handle the business while Dr. Dre would focus on the talent and the recruitment into Death Row Records, which was understood, and Suge had no problems with that. So Dre was bringing in the talent, and Suge was just handling the business. Now, while they was doing that, they was making a lot of money. They took off, and Death Row became bigger than life. All these doors was opening. They could distribute their own music and own their own end of the business. So they were running things. Once Suge decided that he wanted to sign an artist and bring him in the fold, he brought in Tupac and he brought in a couple of other rappers. He signed to Death Row and didn't clear with Dr. Dre if he didn't feel he needed to. And Suge was starting to take more and more control himself and becoming more of a standout person than somebody sitting in the background doing his interviews, magazines, and just being the figure that was out there. And when he was getting bigger and bigger, he was taking more control of what was going on and overseeing a lot of the talent and bringing Tupac in. Dre wasn't really too comfortable with that, but he tried to embrace it. But it was the beginning of the end, because this is not the level of what Dre likes to do or how he likes to work. And Tupac had a whole different type of energy. So while Dre is getting his moves to get out and get out of town and break out, he signed over all his rights, commercial rights, property rights, every contract they had, he signed over to Suge Knight. So he didn't have anything left for anybody to complain about, anybody to say, oh my God, you did all of this stuff to me. He signed away all his rights and he transferred it all over to Suge Knight, the whole company, and he broke out. So when he left the company, everything was, he was starting from scratch. He didn't get any money, no financial compensation. So anything that's coming from the Chronic or Doggy Style and all that stuff, it was going to Suge. So that was it. He signed it over. He just wanted out and wanted to start over fresh and do his own thing. So Dre was hiding when he left, because he knew Suge was not going to be happy with that. And when he left, it shook up the rest of the core Death Row, because now you got other artists that wanted to leave with Dre. Snoop didn't want to stay there. If Dre was leaving, Snoop was like, man, but Death Row paying for my murder trial right now, so I gotta shut up. But he wanted to leave. You got, what's his name was there, but he was ready to leave. I mean, the Lady of Rage, she was ready to leave. It was like all the rest of the artists was in limbo. They didn't know what to do. Rage was working on our first album. And, and it was supposed to be a smash. Dre was supposed to work on it. Then, whoo, he's gone. You know, and it's like everybody was left in a big limbo of not knowing what was finna come next. So her project got pushed back. Everything was pushed back because Dre just left and didn't really tell too many people anything. So Suge was a little upset about that. So of course, you know, he felt a certain way. And Tupac came out with all these attacks on Dre. All of a sudden, the pendulum swung towards Dre to get lyrically assaulted. Now, it was rumors that Dre was bisexual. We know Clive Davis has come out and said he was bisexual. Dr. Dre was hiding at Clive Davis's house. I mean, at this time when he was hiding away from Suge Knight, that's where he was staying. So Tupac was calling him gay and bashing him and making fun of his sexuality at the time and bashing him and talking about him like a dog. And you know, Dre never responded back, never said anything. He just went on ahead and went towards the East Coast and tried to start building his identity on the East Coast with the artists that were coming out at the time, like Nas and all these guys, and that's what he wanted to be a part of. But it didn't take off for him, and it didn't work out. So he ended up coming out of hiding every now and then, sticking his head out, but then he'll go back and hiding and go do his work on the low, so can't nobody see him. Then you got different instances that started happening with Death Row. You know, Pac's death, and when Pac was making all these records and then dying off the way he was, Dre was suing Suge Knight, and once Dre started taking off, that added to the beef, because Eminem came along and brought Dre out of obscurity, because I've Been There, I Done That was a hot song, but that album, the Aftermath album, didn't do great at all. So Dre wasn't really burning the airway. So Suge was going to jail. Snoop is talking about leaving. You know, the game is all messed up. The label has really nothing coming out. They just throw the Lady of Rage out with no promotion, no backing, no nothing, just to get the album off the shelf, and it does nothing. And it was the first album of Death Row to not even touch gold. So it was very, very poor release, and it led to a lot of problems. Because now Suge's locked up, and they thinking, okay, well, it's still not a good time to come out because Suge still got a lot of influence on the streets. And they didn't know how bad the beef was between Dre and Suge at the time, because Dre was not really a threat. And once he started growing with Eminem and they started making the Aftermath the biggest rap label at that time and selling 10 million records, and the Chronic 2001 come out, they killing it. But what a lot of people didn't know is in 2001, actually in 2000, they were getting ready to release Dr. Dre's album, but Jay-Z had worked on him on his album, because Jay-Z was out in California recording for his album, the Blueprint 2, and he was working with Dr. Dre. He was ghostwriting a couple of songs for him. You know, he wrote Still Dre, and which is the lead song off of Chronic 2001. So while he's writing that, he's been hanging out close to Dre. He's going to the games. Dre got him out in Cali. You know, they at the Lakers games, and they doing it up. and they were recording songs and just chilling. And Jay is under a false sense of security that Dr. Dre has got him protected while he's out there. So he actually goes to his room at the Margion Hotel. Well, I shouldn't be saying hotel. And allegedly, he was tied up. Jewelry was taken. And while he was there, people said, if you know somebody, Dre can't protect you. You out here on your own and blah, blah, blah. And you had a phone call. And it was Suge, and he got him out of it. Suge got him out of that situation that what happened in the room, allegedly, and told him, don't worry about it, I got you. Dre can't protect you out here. You see, Dre ain't got nothing out there, but we got love for you. You know what I'm saying? You had love. You told us you ain't got nothing but love and respect for Pac. Blah, 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 blah. But if you going to do that, man, why don't you show him some love, Give him a shout out. Use it so to pay Suge Knight back the money that he was recouped for getting his jewelry, his rock chain, all that stuff back, and taking care of the situation. What Jay-Z did was take Tupac's song "Me and My Girlfriend," and then he took some Tupac lyrics and gave credit to Death Row Records for that song. That's why you hear "Me and My Girlfriend, all I need" in the whole song with Tupac. Everybody was wondering, like, why did he make that? Why did he use that beat? What brought that on? All this Tupac love, and just out of nowhere. Some people hate, and that's on there, so that he can pay Death Row Records off his album so they could eat. That's why they used Tupac, saying that was a way of paying money back for taking care of him getting stuck up, which he blamed on Dr. Dre. And then ever since then, Jay-Z wasn't hanging out with Dre no more. It was like, you can't protect me, so I ain't hanging with you right now until you get yourself together. So Jay wasn't coming back out to Cali like that, not like the way he was before, where he thought he was protected and it was sweet. So Dre's back shook. Then they have the award show when they get 50 Cent, G-Unit, and all that. You remember that. And somebody that was cool with Suge punched Dre in the face, and a lot of things took place. But getting 50 Cent was more for Eminem's protection with Dr. Dre. They had top-notch security provided by Clyde Davis. Everywhere they go, they had security mostly shadowing them. But with the instance where Dre got punched, the security was really more for Eminem than it was for Dre. Because Eminem had upscale security around him. Dre had security, like a bodyguard, 2 bodyguards, and a fat dude, and that was it. So one of them guys wasn't on their job, and Dre got punched, and the dude got jumped on by G-Unit. Now, what they did with 50 Cent was they needed somebody to bring them a street appeal. Somebody that was going to bring them to prominence. So the people on the street would respect Eminem and be like, oh, okay, the streets dude, yeah, he messing with the streets. He got 50. So when they went to record In the Club video, and they in Cali for the record, Dr. Dre fled the scene. Cameraman and Suge Knight came on the scene. Everybody got loose and started moving, getting out of the way. Suge tried to intimidate. He just want to come down there and smoke his cigar while people recording, like so they could feel his presence. And he got a whole bunch of group of Mexican dudes with him. I mean, some grimy little Mexicans. So what happened was, the G-Unit dudes that was there, they street. Most of them street. I mean, Eminem even came out. Eminem left and got a bulletproof vest, but he came back. Dre was gone. Once that happened, he never came back. Eminem actually came back with a bulletproof vest on. But the thing why Eminem came back is because he had his guys there. They would stay, and they were still there like, dude, we from Detroit. Screw you. You know, they are not Hollywood. So Eminem came back with his security, but he had a bulletproof vest on. But he came back. So that's what was interesting, is that he came back. Now 50 disappeared. This is the story nobody's gonna tell you. 50 Cent disappeared, and they couldn't find 50, and he was looking around for 50. And then, you know, he looked around for a minute, just walked around on the set, and then Suge ended up leaving and got up out of there. And once Suge got up out of there and left, 50 Cent, they went to get 50. 50, the security guard had him up in like the ceiling where you would put the drywall. You know how you in the basement, you could push the little drywall up? 50's up in the ceiling in one of the rooms in the drywall. So they had him all the way up in the ceiling. And then he come down like, is he here? Should go? You know, like, man, he gone? So he just thought the whole thing was funny. Like, man, that's crazy. Suge was here. Like, on some Debo stuff. You know, like, it's just funny. You wouldn't just imagine that to happen. So this is what gets people. And then, like, once, like, Death Row start falling down and going under and things like that, Suge allegedly doing stuff like giving out, well, the Death Row tape, giving out Snoop's address, Dre's address, and all that stuff, and on tape. Then you have situations where Dr. Dre would, and see, if I'm Dr. Dre, I don't even poke this situation. I leave it alone. I don't go and try to poke it with a stick. He goes back and tries to sue Death Row Records once they filed for the bankruptcy. And then he tried to get Snoop to do it with him. Like, man, we can get our money back. We can go sue for the bankruptcy court and get paid money that was supposed to be paid back to us. Dr. Dre forgot. He signed all these agreements over and all his rights over to Suge Knight. And then he's trying to talk about an oral contract. Well, you think Suge Knight is going to agree with you on an oral contract? That's not going to hold up. And then Death Row ain't put nothing out on you since 2009. There's a 2-year statute of limitation. So, of course, it was denied, the $3 million lawsuit. But he keeps bringing it back up every now and then. Like, he just filed again to try to get the $3 million again just last year. He tried to get the $3 million from Suge. Like, I'm owed $3 million in royalties. You're not going to get it. Dude, you just did a Beats deal that brought you $500 million or $1 billion, man. Just let it go. You poking a dragon with a stick. You let that man be. And now, you know, here's the situation. They're filming the movie straight out of Compton. And Suge Knight's on the set. And allegedly, you know, something happened. But I'm going to tell you what ended up happening is Suge ended up running over somebody. And that person ended up dying. Now, was a lot of this preventable? Of course. But that's how the beef started. And that's the truth behind the beef. The two don't have a friendly relationship at all, still to this day. And hope you learn a lot. I'm out.